Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Before we begin with the chapter 3, let me give you some work so that you will be well versed with the operator's precedence concept by solving these problems. Okay, so solve these problems applying the operator's precedence and put your answers in the comment section. Okay, so now let us begin with chapter 3. Here in this video, I am going to discuss on built-in mathematical functions. For that, let me take two variables, x holding value 14, y is 3. Okay. Now, let us print absolute value of x, power of x comma y, minimum between x and y, maximum between x and y, and division modulo. This is a special built-in mathematical function where it provides division value as well as modulo, that is quotient and remainder. Okay, so let us look at the answers. So absolute value of 14 is 14. If I change this 14 to minus 14, now also you can see the absolute value will be 14 only. Okay, then x power of y minus 14 to the power 3 is 2744, that is minus. Minimum of x comma y is minus 14. Maximum of x comma y is 3. Division and modulo, you can see it is giving an answer of minus 5 comma 1. If we divide, actually the division which we are talking here is floor division. This we have seen in the previous video itself, where floor division will give us a value which is rounded off towards the negative infinity. That's why we are getting minus 5 and remainder as 1. If I take this as 14, the answer would be different here. You can see it is 4 and remainder is 2. So now let us look at some other functions, particularly the number conversions. Let me take a decimal number which is x equal to 19, which can be converted to binary by applying the bin function. Bin of x will give us binary equivalent of 19, whereas oct will give octal equivalent of decimal 19, hex will give hexadecimal equivalent of, give me a second, I did not run this code now. Okay, so this is the number which indicates binary in 19, whereas in octal it is 23, in hexadecimal it is 13. Okay, so now let us see another important concept, which is round off. Round off is again inbuilt function in Python, where let us say that we have a number which is 14.484849. Here there are many digits after the decimal point, but I want to restrict it to only 3 decimal points, or I want to restrict it to only 2 decimal points. Then we can use a round off function, round off the variable comma number of digits you want to round off. Here I can give it 3, so I will get 14.485. If I take it to 2, I will get 14.48. It is rounded off again. And if you want for 1 decimal point, so 0.48 is nearer to 0.5. That's why we are getting 14.5. To use library functions, we need to import corresponding modules or the library itself. So math is a library function which we are importing by keyword import. Import math means we'll be importing math library. In this library, we have many functions. Let us look at some of them. First thing, math constants. We have math.py, math.e, that is exponential. So let us run and see what answer we get. You can see pi has been given with 3.141592 number, and then E is nothing but 2.718. These constants we can use while we program or while we solve the mathematical equations. Now let us look at some common functions. Okay, for that, let me take a variable x with value 23. Square root of x I can calculate by math dot square root of x. So math is a library. In that, square root sqrt is a function. Similarly, math dot factorial. So factorial is a function here. Math is a library dot floating absolute. So it will return the floating absolute equivalent of x. Okay. So let us look at these results. So you can see square root of 23 is 4.7958. Factorial of 23 is a huge number, you can see. And absolute value of float 23 is 23.0. Now let us go through few more functions. Math.log x. This function calculates natural logarithm of x. Next we have log to the base 10, exponential of 2. Already discussed, right? The round off method. Then we have truncation. So these are important functions. Round off is inbuilt. It is not a library function, but to compare these methods, say round, truncate, seal, floor, and modf. So as to compare these functions, I have taken this. So you can see round off will round off to the number of digits. Okay. When it comes to truncate, it will remove the fractional part. Only 23 has been printed. If it is rounded off, we should have got 24.0. Correct? So that is the functionality of truncate. Then when it comes to seal, it will upgrade, it will round off the value to the next digit. You can see 33.4 is also 34, or 33.001 is also here 34. So it will round off to the next digit. Whereas here math.floor, this will round off to the previous digit. When it comes to math modf, it will separate out the integer part and the decimal part. So these are the functions which we use in math for limiting the number of digits to the decimal point, or to separate out the integer value and the decimal point. So that's all for this video. In our next video, we'll understand the trigonometric functions which we have in the math module. Okay. If you like this video, do subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon. Thank you.